Hello and welcome to the land of unicorns. Here in Estonia, you can see them everywhere you look. Estonia already leads Europe in number of startups, unicorns, and venture capital per capita. And we have a goal of getting to 25 unicorns by the year 2025. Today, we're asking you to invest 59 minutes of your time to learn more about these up-and-coming Estonian unicorns. We're going to be talking to Clanbeat, Single Earth, Woola, Fima, Greenpin, Alvatech, and Yano. We're going to be hearing their stories, and the great part is all of their business models revolve around creating sustainable and inclusive environment here on planet Earth. And you know what? With Alvatech, I think they're chasing a unicorn right now. And I've got some big news. Estonia just got its 10th unicorn, Glia. Congratulations to their whole team. Now, before we hear more from Glia and all about the Estonian startup and tech community, it is my honor to introduce these welcoming words from the Prime Minister of the Republic of Estonia, Kaja Kallas.
Dear investors, startups, and tech community, Estonia is a world leader in startups, unicorns, and VC investment per capita. This year, we celebrated our 9th and 10th unicorn, Verif and Glia, and the next ones are hatching. I'm proud to open today's Unicorn59 event, presenting Estonian startups all making an impact towards a more sustainable and inclusive world in their own unique way. Dear investors, this is your chance to find our superstars and join the ride. You never know, maybe it's a ride on a unicorn. My government is in close connection with our tech community, keeping the entrepreneurial spirit blooming and developing the best pro-business environment in the world that attracts both talent and innovative companies. It is our high priority. Our supportive and diverse community is our strength. Let's stand together stronger than ever. Enjoy and get inspired.
Thank you to Prime Minister Kallas for your ongoing support of the Estonian startup community. Now, today we are going to be talking a lot about the upcoming superstars of Estonia, but let's start with the actual superstar of the moment. We are going to have a fireside chat with Carlos Paniaua, and he is CTO and co-founder of Estonia's 10th unicorn, Glia. Also talking will be Kaidi Rusalep. She's CEO and founder of Funderbeam, as well as being president of the Estonian Founders Society. Let's go.
Hi, and welcome to the land of unicorns and to the Startup Nation. My name is Kaidi Rusalep, and founder and CEO of Funderbeam. We run the platform for the global startups, the funds, and trade startup companies. And with me, Carlos, the founder and CTO of Glia. But what does Glia do?
Yeah, thank you. So at Glia, we are building the next generation of contact center communication. We are creating the category of digital customer service by helping customers to connect and to support their users in a digital-first fashion, mostly focused in financial services.
Right. So when I think about founding a startup and running a startup and being a founder of the global fintech company, for me, it takes endurance, it takes resilience, and it takes hacking the status quo to build a global company. But you're the newest member of the unicorn, of Estonian unicorn list. What it takes to build a unicorn?
Step number one, I think, is to move to Estonia, the land of the unicorn. I think the community here is great and very supportive of entrepreneurs. But I feel like there are a couple of things that have worked well for us, that have contributed to the success that we have today. One is to have a great team, kind of setting the right culture and set the right values from the start. And that starts with you as a founder. At Glia, for example, we have 4 core values that we have used to make decisions in the good times and in not so good times. Master, challenge, persevere, and collaborate are our values. So kind of setting those values early on and using them in a day-to-day to build your team. That a good team will help you to kind of wave, the storm. Again, if the times are not so good, you have your team, the team has your back. And if times are great too, it can create, stress as well. It will stretch your company, your business, your team. But if you have like a good team with a good set of values, that will help you to succeed. From the product perspective, maybe try to look for an opportunity to create a category. In our case, we are the creators of the digital customer service category, and it can be like a little bit of a chicken and egg problem. But if you manage to, break through, as you say, hack the status quo and create a category, that can give you like a big advantage to grow your business and to grab the market, be there first in a way. So I think those are a couple of things. And maybe third, define your focus. I think something that has worked very well for us is to be focused in financial services, to be vertically focused, and that has helped to grow faster. That's part of the idea.
All right, so not to take too broad industry focus, but actually focus on one industry where,
correct, yeah,
where you
exactly.
provide. All right, but you already mentioned about the Estonia and as a land of unicorns and being one of your company's destinations. Estonian government has taken the route 25 by 25, meaning 25 unicorns by 2025. So how has Estonia supported you in this unicorn journey?
Mm-hmm. The decision that we made 10 years ago now with my co-founders, Dara and Justin, to set roots in Estonia, is one of those decisions that, in retrospective, they kind of set you in a complete different trajectory. And I'm convinced that had like a very deep impact on the success that we have had so far at Glia. And starting with the fact that Estonia is really welcoming to expats, high talented people that can come here and start a company, try and fail or succeed. So I think that's one thing. And the community here, as I mentioned before, is very strong, is very tight, very collaborative. You have organizations like the Estonian Founders Society, exactly, that are working on creating the conditions for entrepreneurship to be feasible, viable in Estonia, from different fronts, from connecting new entrepreneurs with old entrepreneurs who have some success, helping them with advice, with funding, influencing decisions in legislation to promote entrepreneurship, like a startup visa, for example, can be one. And then you have entrepreneurs creating communities themselves. One example that comes to mind is Live 99, for example. It's a community of entrepreneurs working together, sharing what they know, sharing what they have learned, tips and tricks and whatnot. We were part of that community. We just simply outgrow them physically, but we still collaborate with them and still are very engaged. And last, I feel the collaboration with academia, the Taltech University, University of Tartu. I am an alumni of University of Tartu. And collaborating with companies, with scale-ups to kind of train and teach entrepreneurship and help to create and to groom the next generation of IT specialists and that will go and create companies.
Yeah, cool. I think we also have pretty diverse startup founders here in Estonia. You're the international founder, right? I'm the female founder. We have the age balance between the founders and everything. So it's really proud because the country wants to build the best startup ecosystem in the world. But we've been talking about all the good things. Is there anything you would change or you miss in this ecosystem?
Right. I think that if I were to change one thing, is perhaps the size of the talent pool. I feel like Estonian talent is great. Very bright people, highly educated, very strong collaborators, good communicators, high work ethic, but there are just so many. And I feel like to really make that goal of 25 unicorns by 2025, we need to have like a systematic approach to create and increase that talent pool. I know that there are initiatives that are going to be key for that. An example that comes to mind is the called Yofi, that is training the next wave of IT specialists. Unicorn Squad, for example, creating the conditions for children to step in and to learn and to choose IT and STEM career path. That's critical, and that's going to be great to kind of groom from the inside and to grow the size of the talent pool. GLIA is supportive of both. We are collaborating with them. But there is something to say about bringing talent from the outside.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many bright people looking to have the environment like that Estonia provides to build something, to be part of a mission, and creating the conditions for them to come here, to feel welcome, and to establish their lives here is going to be important as well. And again, that's why I want to remark the importance of initiatives like a startup visa and educational programs like the one that I was part of, and that's how I was lucky enough to be here.
Yeah, so sometimes you need to grow something in the quality and in the quantity, and that's actually the talent pool and access to talents is something what the Estonian Founders Society is also working on. It's the mission of the Estonian startup founders. So where do we get the brains, the talents to build the companies? There's and it's been good that we also have a very direct communication between us as founders and the government, and we share the stories with them as well. But there's many stories during the founder years. Is there any stories you would like to share with people here behind the screen?
Oh wow! It's been 10 years. Certainly, there are a few, but maybe something that I remember quite fondly is the early days. I remember being with my co-founders working in a very small office, and in the middle of Times Square. We were part of an accelerator in the US, and the office was just in the middle of Times Square, and it was the summer. So you can imagine how many tourists there were around, and you just walk by and people is taking pictures of you because you just got in the middle of something. But then working with them long hours in the same room, getting there very early on and leaving late, realizing how committed we all were to work together and to make it work. We didn't even know yet what was it exactly. We were kind of discovering. We had like an idea of the product, but who we're going to sell it to, how we're going to sell it, and so on was still unclear. But those early days were quite impactful for me. And it felt a little bit like it's Estonian winter. You go to work and it's dark outside because in the office all the billboards closed, kind of block the windows, and then when you go home it's still dark. So not a lot of change there. But I think the early days are quite fun.
Yeah, yes, I in a way agree with you, because also when I think about the founder years of Funderbeam, the early days are the most kind of, there's something in there and you work hard and you remember it. It's kind of thinking back your childhood. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these early memories. We have now 7 super cool potential unicorns pitching to all of us. What would you say? There's one takeaway from you now, being a unicorn founder, that they could learn from you and your journey. What would you say to them?
In my experience, I think founding your own company, being an entrepreneur, is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes a lot of endurance and going up and down the hills, and that's a lot of work. Sometimes we see stories of companies succeeding very quickly, but I feel like those are the exceptions and not the rules. I have seen more than not successful companies taking a long time to cook and a lot of work. So I think it's a marathon, not a sprint. So be mindful of that. Put your seatbelt on and enjoy the ride.
All right, so we're kind of pass it on to the next potential unicorns, and to the audience. Remember, Estonia is the land of unicorns, and all those you who pitch, now it's time to tie up your shoelaces, because the marathon is there. And good luck from me and Carlos.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
Thank you to Kaidi and Carlos. Now, today's seminar is all about chasing soon-to-be unicorns. Everyone is wondering who is going to be Estonia's 11th unicorn. It's very, very exciting. Up soon, we're going to be hearing from Clanbeat, Single Earth, and Woola. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you that you can ask questions. We are coming live, all right? We are beaming to you live from Tallinn, Estonia, here on the 59th latitude. And as our teams and our companies today give their presentations, you have a chance to ask your questions into this hop-in platform. This is where you're watching it from right now. There is a chat window here, and we encourage you to ask questions of the presentation. And be quick about it, though, because each presentation is only 2 minutes long, so don't think for too much. But my team here is monitoring chat, and they are going to beam your questions live over to my iPad. And if I can, I am going to work your question into the conversation live here on the stream. So whatever questions you might have, please put them into the chat, and we are going to do our best to answer that for you here today. So it's very, very exciting. We've got a whole bunch of teams coming up. It's already so many of them here in Estonia. And the next company that we are going to hear from is Clanbeat, and they are an app that helps students design their healthy, meaningful life and learning experiences.
Hi, I'm Kadri Tuisk from Clanbeat, and we are taking care of humans' well-being. When we are looking at what is going on in the world at the moment, then over 14% of people 12 years and older are using antidepressants on a regular basis. And why is it so? Is that we are starting them super young. If you're looking at what is going on in the world at the moment, then students already very young, at 16 years old, are having signs of burnout and depression. And there is only one school psychologist for 800 students, for example, in Estonia. And most of the adult mental health issues are beginning in a childhood. It means that we have to address them as early as possible. That's why Clanbeat is supporting students in taking active role in their life. This year is a regular student, Tiffany, who is actually my own daughter. And outside, she might look that everything is super well. She's doing well in school and having her hobbies. But what is going underneath is that she's feeling overwhelmed. She's having struggles with time management and often is feeling that she's not enough. And this is where the problems are starting. we need to notice each kid and what is going on underneath the surface. And this plan comes in. We are supporting students already in a self-care and prevention mode. If looking here, this is mental health pyramid, where on top of it is medical intervention and pills. And in the bottom of it, supporting people not reaching to the highest level is self-care and prevention. And we are supporting students taking active role in their life and learning and guiding them through planning meaningful days, acting out in loving community and reflecting how those things are actually affecting them. So they could develop self-management skills that are protecting them and helping them to lead to positive actions in the world. In our product, we are having well-being support in daily and weekly well-being check-ins, reflecting the data back to students themselves, to the school, and also to the country level, and also having them to have a simple productivity planner, so they would be able to design days which are not leading to burnout and notice them each step of their way. We have reached 40% of Estonian schools in 4 months, and we have users already worldwide. Already this year, we were nominated as a winner of World Summit Awards, which is contributing to United Nations sustainability goals. And this is a really big positive impact to our work. And we need to take action because we really want to contribute to the world where people are being able to embrace unknown. And if you're really interested in getting in touch with me, then please free to write me. Thank you.
Kadri, thank you very much for your talk. You've got a tremendous mission. Unfortunately, you couldn't join us here today. There you go. Glad to see you there, though. We got some questions. Tell us, the data that's being analysed by Clanbeat, tell us about that and what impact has that caused?
We are having really enormous data sets coming in from student well-being. And analyzing this, we are able to say that over 32% of students are having troubles with sleeping, and 27% are waking up in the morning and thinking that there is no positive outcome to this day. And we are able to visualize this to students themselves, give them self-help materials and visualize it to this homeroom teacher and also to the school management, so they would be able to make better decisions and noticing each kid. So data is super important and helpful here of visualizing those students who are actually not being seen.
That is so interesting. I mean, talking about that, you said waking up in the morning, it seems like a perpetual problem that students always say, but it's never addressed. Human well-being, it's one of those things that sort of everyone should look after, but sometimes we feel like it's not looked after. How do you think Clanbeat is working with this?
Human well-being is a big problem, and luckily in Estonia we have partnered up with Estonian nation in the program called Accelerate Estonia, where the slogan of it is, if we gave you a country, what would you do with it? And right now we are building a student well-being monitoring system that is live method, contributing to all of the service providers and reaching to each individual student on a needs basis. And this is a true innovation being done.
Okay, it's nice. Excellent. Well, you're doing so well so far. Thank you very much for your presentation today, Clanbeat. We're going to move on now, and we're going to hear from Single Earth, and they are combining some of the biggest trends that are out there right now. I'm talking about climate and crypto. They've got both of them sewed up. So let's learn how to make a real impact on nature by making climate change and good climate practice a core part of your business process.
Hi, I'm Merit and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Single Earth, and we are building a nature-backed future. We founded the company because we wanted to protect nature, and we want to save the world from irreversible climate change and biodiversity loss. And we started looking deeper into what is causing nature destruction, and we realized that it's the business models. Because the only way for a landowner to earn money from the natural resources is by selling it as raw material. But if we want to incentivize the protection of nature rather than the destruction of it, we need to create alternative business models that incentivize nature protection. And today, we're doing this with almost 80 people in the team. We're backed by Equity Ventures and Icebreaker. And what's really cool about the team of Single Earth is that about a third of us is actually scientists. So we have ecologists, climate scientists, data scientists who are building a digital twin of the world's nature. We use satellite data, big data analysis, and machine learning to describe what nature does in the physical world. And we bring that to the digital world. We build carbon and biodiversity, carbon, and other ecosystem services models that describe how nature works in real time. And based on that, we start minting tokens for the work nature has done in real time. So for example, for every 100 kilograms of CO2 captured in a biodiverse forest, we emit 1 token to the landowner in real time. But it's not just the carbon credit, it's actually a nature-backed currency. So this is our way how to shift towards a nature-backed economy where we can, for the first time in history, cap the economy with how much nature can really sustain. Because the amount of tokens in circulation is always capped by how much nature can sustain. So the more nature we have, the richer we are. The more of it we destroy, the less wealthier we become. Thank you.
All right, Merit, thank you very much for that. You and your colleagues are doing so much good work for the climate. Let's go. Now, we're going to walk and talk this one out here. Now, I know your company, and you guys have grown from like 8 to 80 in the last 12 months. That's nuts. Tell us about it.
So yeah, when we fundraised last summer, we actually got fuel to basically build the team. And I think one of the most exciting parts has been building the science team, because like when you think of it, it's quite a challenge. Like we didn't think it would be easy to start hiring scientists from universities and convince them to join a startup. So basically, yeah, that was a great challenge. But what we realized that it's basically people are so excited to join something like we are doing because they have been doing this theoretical work for years, and now they actually have a practical implementation to what they have been like telling the world all the time. So I think the mission is something that has helped us to grow the team very easily.
That's tremendous. We hear so much about, oh, we need more programmers, always more programmers, but to need more scientists.
Yes.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Climate, you know, it's a hot topic. Everybody wants to talk about it. You know, climate in tech. You're gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna word it this way. Why is climate so hot right now?
Obviously, because climate is getting hotter and hotter. And I think we're running out of time. Like, we need to do something right now. And I think for like entrepreneurs, for startup founders, it's an incredible opportunity to be honest, because I think like startup founders are always looking for, you know, problems to solve. And this is a huge problem. It's like the biggest problem that humanity is facing. And there are so many solutions we can bring with real innovation. So I think it's so hot because...
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry to have done that to you.
But because it's so exciting. Like although it's terrible and the outlook is really bad, but there's also still hope and there's so much opportunity for great innovation and bringing real impact to the world. I like it. You've got a great mission. Merit, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on. Thank you to Single Earth. Our next company is called Woola, and we don't want to talk about plastic bubble wrap anymore. That's in the past. They have a sustainable alternative. So let's hear from Annalisa.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna-Liisa and I'm the CEO at Woola. So we are actually not fundraising at the moment. So instead of sharing our growth numbers, I wanted to take this time to tell you about some things that are really, really worrying me at the moment. And on top of that list is climate change. The climate is warming and fossil fuels play the biggest role in that. And by now, people already know this. So they have started to change their lifestyle, switch to more sustainable transport, make cities bigger, and slowly cut out fossil fuels. So the demand for gasoline is falling, and that's great. But the big oil companies also know of this, and they have a plan. they see plastic as their savior. So in order to make up for the profits that they lose from gasoline, they intend to make more plastic. And these are some of the headlines of what their plans entail. So because of this, the global plastic production is expected to double in the next 15 years and triple by 2050, which is insane. And we started Woola to ruin their plans, essentially. So the packaging industry is the largest consumer of plastic. And we knew that we need to make packaging that's free from fossil fuels and from the single-use mindset, but this alone is not enough. We knew that we need to make packaging that's so good that people will not want plastic anymore. And that's when we discovered something really cool, namely sheep wool. 90% of it is thrown out at this time since there is no supply chain for it. And there's such a huge excess of this material that it could cover 120% of the global bubble wrap demand. And that's exactly what we started doing. We started making protective packaging from waste wool, and we're making wool envelopes, bottle sleeves, and bubble wool that are cost effective and look great and will eventually make plastic obsolete. And that's all I wanted to say today. This is a photo of our team from a few months ago. We have now grown into a team of 16. And yeah, like I mentioned, we're currently not fundraising, so please don't email me about this. Thank you.
Anna-Liisa, thank you very much for your presentation today. Lovely to meet you over our link here. Got some questions here. It's a very interesting idea. Wool, it's from the animals, right? Australia animals, I know. Tell us more about why you're using it and how that even makes sense. Oop.
Hi, Lewis. Nice to meet you indeed. Yes, we are using sheep wool, which is an animal product. And it is currently a waste product, and sheep need to be sheared anyway. But for us, it only makes sense to use wool that comes from local farmers and that we can actually track. So we don't work with factory farms or anyone who practices intensive agriculture because it just doesn't make sense. We track all of the wool that we and we do background checks on all of it to make sure that it is actually ethical.
Okay, I like that. Now, Australia, look, I'm Australian. We're a company that was built on the back of a sheep, we say. So I'm happy for this. Now, why should VCs invest in your company? Everyone wants software. It's all about software. How come we should think about hardware, products? This seems a little bit more tricky. What's happening?
I think the best way to summarize it is by saying that if you want to continue living on this planet, you need to invest into production and hardware, since that's the most lucrative thing in the long run. And production has gotten much leaner and much smarter. It needs less capital than what it used to need. So I think there are a lot of options here, and I would really like to see the investments also reflect this in the future, and venture capital taking more risks and giving production and startups more chances.
Anna-Liisa, thank you very much for your time today. I like that. That was almost a call to arms to our investors out there. Think about production companies, think about hardware, think about real things. It's not all about software. So we've been hearing from all sorts of very interesting soon-to-be unicorns. Now, my name's Lewis, I'm Australian. I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I thought to myself, if anyone can make a unicorn in Estonia, maybe I can as well. So we went out and we filmed some videos about what it's like to make a unicorn. These are some of my experiences. Let's see them. Welcome back to the show. Estonia has the highest number of unicorns per capita, and they have all the tools you need to create tremendous startups. Everywhere you look, there's one of these little critters hanging around. Look, there's one right now. Oh, look, there's one. And there's an investor, and she's feeding it. Oh. I've always wanted to become a unicorn myself. Let's go talk to her. Ma'am, excuse me. Was that a unicorn? Are you an investor? Oh, I'm trying to show these people how you can become a unicorn in Estonia. Can you help us?
Well, what kind of a company do you have?
Company? Oh, I just decided I wanted to be a unicorn, that's all.
Well, first, you have to register a company. Luckily, in Estonia, registering a company only needs a computer and a few moments of your time.
Oh, thank you. You've been so helpful. Thanks very much. Oh, amazing. Guess we better start a company then. Guys, where's my laptop? What do you mean we lost it on the moose watching expedition last week? Oh, it's okay. I can track it. Oh, let's go. Tracker says my laptop is around here somewhere. I left my laptop in the TV tower. Come on, let's go upstairs and get it. Now I found my computer, I can register my company in just a few clicks. All the administration is super simple. Everything is done online. That's how easy it is to take your first steps towards forming a company in Estonia. Unicorn, here I come. So as you can see, look, if I can make a company online in Estonia, you can it as well. The thing, like the few clicks thing, that's not a joke at all. It really is that easy to start a company in Estonia. Our next company is Fima, and it's a startup that specializes in using AI computer vision technology to retrieve valuable anonymized data from video feeds. We've got Karen, the CEO and co-founder. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. My name is Karen, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at Fima. And we're a company that builds better places with data. Fima is a deep tech AI company that has built an AI brain able to analyze any video footage coming our way. So we will work with either live video streams or saved video footage. There's three key things that set Fima apart from its competitors. First of all, we will work on any IP camera in the world, any video footage, or even no IP camera. We also work on saved video data. Secondly, Fima can be set up by anybody. It's really easy to do after signing up on our website, importing video streams, and then using what we call virtual gates and sensors and virtual polygons that can simply be drawn on the area inside the video that you want to analyze. So whether that's a very specific road or a parkland area or an area where people are sitting down, it's very simple to set that up just by using our virtual lines and virtual polygon areas. And finally, Fima is completely GDPR compliant. Our AI has never seen a human face, nor it ever will, which means we can be installed anywhere in the EU without having to worry about privacy concerns. We also do not store any video data, and we only keep metadata, which belongs to the client. Fima is working with three types of clients. We have resellers and channel partners that have integrated us into their service offering. We are also working with some municipalities. But our key client segment are privately owned, mixed-use, large real estate developers that need to understand footfall, traffic flows, traffic counts, all of the dynamics within their built environment. And that's what Fima provides. So instead of them relying on assumptions, modeled data, lots of various IoT sensors that are often either inaccurate or looking at the very kind of narrow piece of data. Fima is able to see through the cameras anything that a human eye could see, just at scale, and we don't get tired. Fima is currently raising a seed round, so get in touch if you're interested, and check us out on www.fima.ai. Thank you very much.
Karen, thank you very much. It's nice to see you again. I remember seeing a pre-production version of Fima, being very impressed back then. Tell us a little bit more now about how you guys making money. I'm talking the business model, because, you know, that's going to be important to us. What are we thinking? Oh.
First of all, hi, Lewis. Thank you so much for having me here. On the business model, so Fima has a very simple pricing structure. We're a SaaS business, and we charge a monthly fee, so per camera per month. No setup fees, no kind of big integration charges. Monthly charge is what we have, and that goes down with volume. So Fima is 200 euros per camera per month, which then gets reduced by 10% at certain thresholds of camera numbers. In terms of the saved video footage, that's priced per volume, so per megabyte, essentially.
Okay, makes sense. And again, when I remember seeing your product, I remember thinking how, I hate to say it, game-changing it really could be in the market. It could be used for so many applications. What's the target market? What industries do you think this is really going to make a big impact on?
Fima is currently live across the Nordics. So we have 2 channel partners in Finland and 1 in Sweden. In Finland, we've actually partnered with Elisa, which is the largest Finnish telco, and are working with them. Our kind of largest number of clients are in the UK, and we're at the moment expanding into the east coast of the US as well.
Okay, that's quite a global market. Thank you very much, Karen, for your talk today. All right, we're going to keep moving along now. Our next company up is Greenpin, and they are a sustainable investing platform for people who care about their impact.
We all know that the world is unsustainable track, and we need radical solution in all parts and fields. And money has the huge power to drive this change, but somehow overlooked. For instance, there are many retail investors who don't ask themselves which world their money is bringing about, because they are unaware of and they don't see the impact. In Europe alone, there are 10 million euros sitting in people's bank account or invested in unconsciously, unsustainable ways. And we in Greenpin, we see that it's a huge problem what we try to solve, because many people think that is super important and want to contribute to the sustainable future, but they don't know that their savings can bring about it.
Enter Greenpin. Greenpin is a sustainable investment platform for people who really care about the impact, their impact on the world. We want to make impactful investment as easy and accessible as possible to drive as much capital as possible into sustainable companies, solutions, and businesses. And easy and accessible it already is, because on Greenpin, a customer can set up a personalized, values-based portfolio in just 5 minutes. We're already licensed to operate across Europe and have launched in Estonia and Germany so far, with more to come. And we want to become the best known and largest sustainable investment platform across Europe and then the whole world.
Yes, hi, good. Sorry, yes, professional here, no problems, we're good. Thanks, as soon as I get some money, I'm gonna want to invest. in all of
Sure.
this. Don't worry.
You're welcome.
We're going to do it. I think it's, all jokes aside, I think it's tremendous that we've got this platform where people these days are concerned about where their money's going. It's not just about making money anymore. It's about what are the impacts of that. So tell us about some of the impacts of the investments.
Yeah, impact is really very important part of making an investment. And for instance, the studies show that it's more impactful than any other lifestyle choices that you have. For instance, sorting a garbage or taking a public transportation. There is I think, study from UK and US, which shows that it's almost 20 times more impactful. But, have you ever considered how your money invested?
No, when I get money, I'll be sure to not consider it.
Exactly. It's like 90%, though. It's a huge impact we could have collectively. And the other one is also, it's like we can make an impact in all areas of life, like.
It's interesting. It's something I hadn't thought through. What are the ongoing effects of the investment? You just think the money sits in the bank or something. So finally, the thing everybody wants to know. I'm sure your platform doesn't come for free. Tell us about the costs of that.
We want to be super transparent and clear about that. So we charge only a flat monthly fee. Plus, if we're really successful and exceed our own and your expectations as a customer, we want to take like a bit of a success fee of that exceeding part.
Yeah, but it's like €3.90.
It's €3.90
and
per
flat
month.
Fee, so
many people spend way more on their cappuccinos. So we really want to make a difference for the money of your morning coffee.
Okay, I like it. Thank you very much to Greenpin. We're going to move on. We have one more sketch to go. I went out. I was still exploring how to be a unicorn in Estonia. Let's do it. Welcome back to the show, Future Unicorns. Making a company in Estonia is so straightforward that almost everyone has one. That means there's a great network of startups that make success easy. Whenever you've got a question, there's always someone to turn to. Up on the roof, I started my own company, and now it's time to check my bank balance. Why don't I have €1 billion yet? I'm supposed to be a unicorn. What am I doing wrong? If only there was someone here I could turn to. An investor! Tell me, investor, what am I doing wrong?
I might find an investment, but tell me more about your products.
Product! Of course, I don't have a product! Oh, you are good. Wait here. Loads of people in Estonia have really good ideas, and with all the support available, startups are being created left, right, and center. But I think I've come up with something pretty unique.
Where is it?
Oh, it's in my pocket. Look.
But that's a phone.
Yeah, it's an app.
What kind of an app is it?
Mate, I can't tell you what kind of app. It's top secret. Don't you know anything? We gotta go sell it first. Come on, let's go. Look at this. What a great startup scene. I'm off for a well-earned vacation and I'm going to support a few startups myself. I hope you've learnt something about becoming a unicorn too. It really is so much easier in Estonia. Yeah, see, Estonia really is the easy place to start a unicorn. I told ya. And yes, that sketch was as fun to film as it looked. Hey, Lewis, can come and we're going to have flames and you can bang things all afternoon long. Yes, Yes, so thanks very much. Fun sketches. Hope you enjoyed them. Now, our next two companies, it's all about hardware. I told you before, it's not just about software. We need to look at companies that make real things. And so our next company is Alvatech, and their superpower is to create self-driving vehicles and autonomous transportation systems.
Hi. Road transport is responsible for roughly 1/5 of CO2 emissions globally. And at the same time, the number of cars keeps on growing, especially in urban environments. It takes time until electric cars are able to take over, and even then they only solve part of the problem, as congestions and parking lots taking up valuable city space are also concerns that we cannot simply overlook. The only sustainable way is to think of urban commuting beyond the use of personal cars. And this means taking public transport experience to a totally new level. Now, how can we do that? Firstly, public transport can only take you to the bus stop, not to your final destination. And that's where our solution lies. By picking you up at the bus stop and taking you to the doorstep, our fleet of autonomous vehicles is ready to contribute to make public transport a lot more attractive and a lot more effective, thus leading more people opting for public transport instead of using personal cars, and thus leading to less personal cars in our streets. Because our vehicles drive relatively slow in pre-mapped areas, they can be already legally operated in many countries across the globe. So far, we have been operating in 10 countries, but the number keeps on growing at accelerating pace. Alvatech is an Estonian company that has designed, developed and manufactured a fleet of autonomous vehicles, including the world's first autonomous vehicle that runs on hydrogen. And our vehicles can be operated both in public traffic and also closed or semi-closed areas. So in a nutshell, too many cars in our streets. Let's find a solution and let's start thinking next level urban commuting beyond the use of personal cars. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Tavi, good to see you again, mate.
Hi, great to see you.
Nice. Let's walk and talk a little bit. Let's do this. Now, I love Alvatech. However, I can name 3 or 4 other well-funded robotaxi companies. What's different about Alvatech?
Well, there is room for several companies in autonomous space, but our business model and philosophy is somewhat different than robotaxis because instead of making better cars, we make the model for people to use commuting beyond cars. So take a combination of bus plus an autonomous vehicle. But the technology, having said that, is actually very similar. We also use LiDARs, cameras. The autonomous part is pretty similar. And even Elon Musk has said that the full self-driving is not as easy as it might look. But I would add to that, last mile autonomous is already possible, and Alvatech can do it.
Okay, I like that. So, because you spoke about who is sort of the end customer, end user, let's say. But who is your typical, who's buying one of these units from you?
Well, it's a service model, basically, to operate and to offer a service.
Okay.
But the customers have been first cities, then large public transport companies, and increasingly also real estate developers who develop, for example, the places where we work. So if only one person chooses to take a bus plus autonomous vehicle instead of taking their personal car, he or she frees up roughly 20 square meters of land. And any real estate developer who can understand the value of this land is probably calling us and saying, what can we do to opt for your service?
I love it. Tremendous company. Thank you very much for your time today. All right, we're going to go on. We got one more company to go. We've seen 6 already. One more to go, as I said. Fully autonomous AI and robot-empowered bartending unit. Yes, bartending unit. It serves drinks, handles payments, does your identity check, communicates with the customers. Let's hear from Yano.
And now, my friends, I'm going to show you something that hasn't been shown today before. We, as Yano, are solving a lot of problems in the world of service industry. There's a huge lack of workforce, there's environmental issues of waste and recycling, there's service speed and quality problems, and the new need for contactless bars because of the pandemic. So our company has invented fully autonomous robot part centers that can communicate with customers and handle payments. We have a remarkable team of 25 experts from different fields of expertise. We have 3 existing prototypes today that are set up at our clients. We just finished a very successful exhibit at Dubai World Expo, and this has brought us a number of very high-end clients. There are clients from Emirates, from Saudi, from Bahrain. There's a Dubai airport lounges. There's hotels, restaurant chains from all over the world. There's venues over the Europe and, of course, beverage producers. Our business model is 3 ways. First, the concession or actually revenue share model. That is our main focus. There is sale and lease for some venues because they are different. And, of course, the rental for short-term events. We have lots of plans for this year. There's ongoing optimization and licensing. We are building robots for the pilot projects. We have a huge contract to fulfill with Apollo cinema chains. We are beginning to set up the showrooms in big cities. There are negotiations ongoing. We are hiring, of course, to scale up like every startup. And we are planning to go to industrial production for the end of this year. So for the next year here in Estonia at the InCap factory. And of course, new patents coming in, but that's the secret. So we are also, of course, raising funds like every normal startup does. We are raising today 3 million. We have committed already 2. So there is still a chance if somebody wants on board, then the round closes in coming weeks. Please be the guest of ours. And you are all welcome to join the revolution of service robotics with Yano. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you. Let's do it. Let's do a little walk and talk about it. This is cool. I like this very much.
It's different, right?
Yeah. And that's what makes it great. It's hardware, it's different. But so you're clearly not the only person trying something like this, but is it, or where are you competitors? Tell us about the space you're in.
Actually, funny thing that we are kind of the only ones, because there is one company that does something similar, and there's a lot of dream projects. But we are the only ones that are mobile. You can set us up in 4 hours or take it to another place. Okay. We are the only autonomous system that is on the market. Plus, our robot is communicative, so it's not a vending machine, but it's a digital bartender that has a soul and a personality and so on.
That's so good. I like the idea so much. And I like it what you said that, look, there really isn't anything that can compete in exactly the same way right now. Mm-hmm. Oh, tremendous.
Exactly.
Let's take it in a different angle for a moment here, right? Not so much in Estonia, but in other countries we hear a lot about the automation is taking away the jobs, the robots are taking away the jobs, that there is some level of fear in our society about this. What are your thoughts on this? Maybe philosophical? How do you respond to something like that?
Very good question. I think it's kind of a media agenda, and it's completely not true. I would say that, especially in service robotics, there's a lot of jobs available, lots of people missing, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
So the statistics shows exactly the opposite. So I would say that it's completely wrong. Okay. Plus, we create jobs. Because somebody has to build those robots, somebody has to maintain, somebody has to program. So we take the low-grade jobs and bring them to the high-grade jobs.
Sure. I work in the entertainment sector myself. I know very hard to find good people right now. And it doesn't you take away someone's job. They can still be there. They can still be helping. So yeah, makes sense. All right, Alan, thank you very much for your time today. Cool. All right. So this is it. Thank you very much today. We have heard from our teams. We've done 59 minutes. We've heard from Clanbeat, Single Earth, Woola, Fima, Greenpin, Alvatech. That was Yano. We heard from Glia and also Thunderbeam. A lot of different companies, software. We've heard from hardware. Get into the hardware. That's where the future is, I'm telling you right now. I encourage you to contact all of our teams on the Hopin platform. Please do that. And also, don't forget about Estonia's premier startup conference. That's Latitude 59. It's happening here in Estonia, 1 month's time, 19th to 20th. Check it all out. My name's Lewis, and like we say here in Estonia, if you think outside the box, sleep in the box.